Are you tired of the repetitive task of creating monthly invoices one by one? If you're looking for a faster, simpler, and easier way to do this, you're in the right place. Let me show you how you can easily automate this task effortlessly using the repeating invoice feature in Xero Accounting. Hi, I'm Sharon Tay. I'm the founder of Nuts Accounting and I'm a Xero certified advisor. So let's head on over to Xero Accounting. This repeating invoice comes from this question. Ralph Swart asked, how do I create a repeating invoice for 12 months? So he's elaborating his question is, I am trying to create a repeating invoice for 12 months. How do I create invoices that will show in my drafts instead of creating 12 invoices one by one? So today we are going to answer this question and you will learn how you can do this easily by using Xero Accounting. So in Xero Accounting, we have this feature that's called repeating invoice. It is a feature from Xero Accounting that will help you to automate your invoice creation process. So let me show you how to access it. From your dashboard, click on business from your menu bar and then select invoices. And once you're in the invoices page, this is how it looks like. So here you will not be able to find the create a new repeating invoice button here because you will be able to see this tab that says repeating here. You will have this repeating tab, but once you click on it, then you will be able to see this new repeating invoice button appearing here. Remember what we saw just now? It was just a new invoice button. But once you go to the repeating tab, the button automatically changed to new repeating invoice. You can click on this button, new repeating invoice, and you will be brought to the create a new repeating invoice page. Or if you are from the main invoices page itself, you can still go to the new repeating invoice page. So how do you do that? See this new invoice button at the top? There's a small little arrow on the right to it. Just click on this arrow and you'll be able to select this new repeating invoice. So let's go here. And this is just the same page that we saw just now, then creating a new repeating invoice page. And I understand usually we use the shortcut of the plus button at the top right corner to create a new invoice, but then you will not be able to find this new repeating invoice from this plus shortcut button here because it's not available here. This is not something that is too common that everybody will use it. That's why it's not parked under the shortcuts. All right, so let's look at this new repeating invoice here. Let's look back at this question. Ralph asked, how do I create a repeating invoice for 12 months? So if Ralph is trying to create a repeating invoice for 12 months, and from the question, we understand that Ralph is trying to create a repeating invoice for the past 12 months, not the future 12 months. So let's look at the new repeating invoice and how we are going to create it. So from here, under the new repeating invoice, the first part of the new repeating invoice is how often do you want to repeat it? From here, we can select, like by default, it says repeat this transaction every 1 month. So if you want it to be every 2 months once, then you can just change this to 2, then it will become 2 months once for this invoice. And you can still change this, there's a drop down here. Instead of 2 months, you can change it to 2 weeks or every 1 week or every 4 weeks. That's totally up to you. So you can just play around, see whichever information that you need to, how you want to set your repeating invoice to be. So let's put it as 1 month. And the invoice date. For the invoice date here, right now it's selecting the current date, the date that you are creating this repeating invoice. Xero is, by default, Xero expects that today will be the first day of the repeating invoice and it's going to create future invoices for you. But if you are in the situation of rough, where you are trying to create a repeating invoice for the past 12 months, then what you need to do is set this invoice date to the first day, to the date of the first invoice that you want to create, so that Xero will automatically create all the subsequent invoices in accordance to the repetition that you have set here, which is 1 month. So if I'm going to set this, let's say I'll just put this back to 1 year ago, so that it will create 12 months for me. So this pop-up will appear. If you put a date that's older than today, this little pop-up will appear. It says the next invoice date has already occurred. So if the next invoice date has already occurred, invoices prior to and including today will be generated when you save. But however, none of these invoices will be sent. So what it means actually, so what it means is, if we are trying to create a repeating invoice right now for what has already happened in the past, Xero can create the invoices for us, but it will not be able to automatically send the invoice to your customers. Because if you want Xero to automatically send the invoice to your customer, it needs to happen right now or in the future. So, including today will not be sent as well. So even if the start date of the invoice date is today, Xero will not be sending to your customer. It will only happen if you set the first invoice date as tomorrow or onwards, or any future dates. So take note, once you created the invoices, you will need to manually send it to your customers. Okay, so once you have read through this pop-up, just click OK to close it. So now what I'm setting here is my first invoice date is 1st of January, and it will repeat every 1 month. So that means Xero will create for me 1st of Jan 2023, 1st of February 2023, and then continue on until today. Until this month, which is 1st of Jan 2024, it will create for me. Okay, the next one is the due date. So what is the due date that you would like to set for this invoice? This is totally up to you. So let's say I'll just put 7 days after the invoice date. From here, you can click on this drop down and change it to any of the due date that you like. Maybe 7 day of the following month, which means irregardless of what is the invoice date of this month, like today is 31st, then if you set the due date as the 7th of the following month, then it's going to set at the 7th of February all the time. Okay, and if it's 7 days after the invoice date, this is very straightforward. Just 7 days after invoice date is the due date. Then this is 7 days after the end of the invoice month. So this means the end of the invoice month is this month. So if your invoice month is if your invoice date is 15th of January, then the end of the invoice month is 31st of January, which is today. But if the number of days after this date, then will be the due date. And the next one is the day of the current month. So you can just hard code just fix it on the particular date as the due date. All right, so the next one is end date. If you have an end date, then you can put it here. But if you do not have an end date, then Xero will automatically create for you month after month after month after month. So there's no ending at all. Like for example, if you are creating a rental invoice for your tenant, then you will definitely have a end date, because your tenancy agreement lasts maybe a year, 2 years, or 3 years. So you will need to fix the end date there so that it will not Xero will not create an invoice for you after the tenancy period has ended. So that's not a good thing to do, right? All right, so I'm going to set the end date here as maybe 31st of March 2024. Okay, so that means the invoice that Xero will be creating for me will continue on until 1st of March 2024, and then the day after that, the next invoice should be 1st of April 2024, right? But then it will stop because the end date is 31st of March. All right, the next one is whether we want to save this as draft, approve, or approve for sending. So back to the question, Ralph wanted the invoices to be created under the draft version. So what we need to do is to save this as draft. So you just select this radio button, save as draft. But if you want it to be easy and you want to send it, if you want it to be easy and you want the invoice to be sent to your customer by Xero automatically for you, you want to be totally hands-free, let Xero do everything for you, let the robot of Xero do for you, then you can select approve for sending. So when you select approve for sending, then every time Xero create this invoice for you, it will automatically send to your customer immediately by email. Okay. So if you select approve, it's just change this invoice to an approved status and it is not being sent to your customer. You will still need to manually send it to your customer. So let's put save as draft. If you got value from this video, click on the like button, and if you have any questions, post it in the comments below. If you are new to bookkeeping or you're confused about where to start, then check out our free mini course, Master User Academy Level 1. Get started today for free at nutscounting.com/400. This mini course will kickstart your bookkeeping journey and boost your confidence and skills. No credit card is required to join this mini course. You can sign up today at nutscounting.com/400. Now let's head back to the tutorial. So the next field that we need to fill in is the particulars of your invoice. So for example, who is the payee? Invoice to who? So you can just select the payee's name. So I'm going to select ABC Furniture and the reference. If you have any reference number or anything that you would like to put in, you can type it here. So for example, I can put in rental for. And then here comes the exciting part because this is a repeating invoice. So what you are typing here, rental for, is going to repeat every single month, right? But if you want a particular wording that represents the month and the year of that invoice, then this is where the Xero Accounting's advanced feature comes in, which is the placeholder. So do you see this blue link here that says insert placeholder? Just click on it. Then you will be able to select either to put in the week of that invoice or you can put in the month of that invoice. So let's say rental for month. So it's going to be rental for January. So if you do not want this, you can just erase it. Just press on the backspace and then let's change it to year. You can also rental for a particular year. Or you can just change this to month year. My favorite is this, rental for month year, so that it's clearly visible what is this invoice for and for which particular period it is for. Then the next one is, of course, the branding. If you would like to change the template of your invoice, then you can change it here because sometimes you may have a special template for certain customers or certain branding, then you can change it here. So I'm going to put very orange invoice. Then this is the PayPal link of the payment link. Then you can manage if you have any, if you are accepting any online payments through your invoice, then you can do it here. Okay. The amounts, what are the amounts in? What is the currency and whether it is tax inclusive or exclusive or no tax. So here, if you have more than one currency, you will be able to select here. And if you have, and you can select what is the way that you want to treat the tax. So let's say it's tax inclusive, then item. You can select item here. Let's say this one. And then description, I'll just simply change rental for, and this is the same. You can use back the same placeholder for here, for the description. rental for A10-9 unit for the month of, 4. Okay, so when you read it, you need to read it as rental for A-10-9 unit for January 2023 or January 2024. Okay. Okay. So if you would like to have a look at how the placeholders are going to look like, you can scroll down to the bottom here and you will see here, preview placeholders. So when you click on it, okay, when you click on it, this little pop-up will appear and it will show you how is the placeholders looking like. Like the description, rental for January 2024. The line description, rental for A-10-9 unit for January 2024. So this is how it looks like for the placeholders. So if you are satisfied with it, then it's okay. Then let's continue on. And the quantity, unit price, the discount, the account, and the tax rate and the user defined field is totally the same as how you create a normal invoice. So I'm not going to go through it in detail, because if you would like to learn in detail on all the fields of how to fill in the fields of a sales invoice or creating a customer invoice, you can check out the video, which I will put the link in the description below. I have a full tutorial for that video. Okay, so now the account, let's put other account. Okay, here, once we are done, check the total and the subtotal at the bottom and check if the text is correct. So if you are satisfied with everything, then we are going to click save. So do take note that you check through everything one more time before you click save. Remember, if we put the start date of the invoice date as a backdated date, like a previous past dates, right? Once you click on the save button, Xero is going to create all the invoices up until today for you. So if anything that went wrong, if you fill in the wrong information, then you will have a lot of invoices to delete. So we wouldn't want to correct our mistakes like that, right? So let's check through one more time if every information that you have filled in here is correct. If you are satisfied with it, then we can just click on the save button. Okay, once you are done, click save. It takes a little long to load because Xero is creating everything for us. Okay, yay! Now we have successfully created our repeating invoice template. Here it will say repeating template saved. Click to view. If you click here, you'll be able to view what we see just now, but this time it's slightly different. Instead of it says a new repeating invoice at the top, now it will become edit repeating invoice. So, and here at the top left corner, there's a small little edit word here showing that this is an edit version and it's not a new creation. And you can see here, there's something that's different. Okay, let's compare with the new repeating invoice page. Do you see that the information here has changed? Remember the next invoice date, the invoice date here, it was supposed to say invoice date only, but now it has changed to become next invoice date. And the date has changed. We put in 1st of January 2023 just now, but now it becomes 1st of February 2024, which means the Xero has created up until today for us, and the next invoice date is the 1st of February 2024. So you can see here, the rest of it is still the same. And we have the history and notes here at the bottom saying that when we have created it and when is the edit, if there's any. So now let's go back to the invoices page. So in the invoices page, we are automatically brought back to the repeating tab. And here you can see we have this ABC furniture. And the reference is rental for this one. And then the amount is 1,000, repeat every 1 month. Next invoice date is 1st of February. The end date is 31st of March. And the status, the invoice will be saved as draft. This is the one that we have just created just now. It's automatically added to the list of the repeating invoices. So this is where you can find it, and if you need to change anything for future invoices, you can come to this edit repeating invoice and change the information that you need to change. So let's go to our drafts. And are you ready to see the reveal of it? We have a lot of invoices created automatically by Xero. All the $1,000 invoices are automatically created by Xero here. And remember that the 1st of January 2023 is the first invoice date that I've put in just now. So you can see here, rental for January 2023, and then every month up until rental for January 2024. All these invoices from invoice-0045 until invoice 57, all these invoices are newly created by Xero for us. And what did I do? I just fill in the repeating invoice template and then click on the save button. That's very easy, right? Then everything is automatically created for us. So you can click on any one of the invoice to have a look at it, see how it looks like once Xero has created the invoice for us. So here, once you click into the invoice, then Xero will say, this invoice repeats once a month. It will remind you that at the top of the page that says, this is actually created from the repeating invoice and it's not a manual creation of invoice. So here, everything looks good, right? So if you need to send to your customer, then you can just approve and email this invoice to your customer. That's pretty easy, right? So this is an answer for Raf's question, how to create repeating invoice for 12 months for the past 12 months. So if you would like to set this for the future, then just the same way, you just need to create a new repeating invoice and then put the correct start date of your invoice date here using the correct start date, and then remember to put an end date if you need to have an end date here. Repeating invoice is just one of the features of Xero accounting. Xero has a lot of features to make bookkeeping easier for you. It can help you to save time, automate tasks for you, and even support you and your business. If you are interested to learn the best features of Xero accounting for small business success, click or tap the video on the screen. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.